This is Scratch's rival, PenguinMod, and I'm gonna be going undercover and sneaking into it. But why? People are saying that it's better than Scratch and are talking about all the crazy things that I can do, but I'm not quite convinced. So in this video, I'm gonna be sneaking into this platform, and I'm also spending the next 5 days trying to go viral on it and get 100 followers on my account to see if Scratch is truly doomed. Welcome to PenguinMod. It seems like this is their website, so let's just sign up. Let's come up with a username. Okay, I think I have a good username, Dogfog, because they rhyme, and it's like a dog with fog. Let's write down our password. Okay, so this is our profile. We have our username, we have our about me. It looks just relatively similar to Scratch, and let's just check out what type of games that PenguinMod has to offer. So this first section is latest featured projects. You know, let's just try the first game. This first game feels like it'd be interesting. Okay, Pang's Flying Frenzy. Hey, ooh, there's like, it smoothly goes to my mouse. It's like 60 frames. Oh yeah, it's 60 frames per second. And we have to dodge these icebergs. Okay, I actually really like how this is 60 frames per second. Okay, I guess that's Pang's Flying Frenzy. Let's go back to the homepage. Let's see if there's any other projects to try out. Okay, so there's this section called Projects People Want Featured. Let's try this Sonic game. Okay, finally loaded. Let's test this thing out. Okay. Wait a minute. No. This Genesis Sonic engine, I'm pretty sure this is a copy of something on Scratch. Yeah, this is strikingly similar. Okay, they credited the original creator, but you still basically took like the entire game. I guess that's the end of our research. I logged into PenguinMod and started looking around the interface of the editor. Although most of the blocks that I saw were the same ones in Scratch, there was still a wide variety of new blocks and new features that I was excited to use. But then I realized I had no idea what I would name the game, so after a bit of thinking, I came up with Penguin, because you are a penguin and you are trying to win. It's really not funny and is pretty cringy, but I couldn't think of anything better if I'm being honest. At this point, I wanted to make some distinction from this game and the games that I make on Scratch. So, just like the first game that we saw, I decided to make this run at 60 frames per second. 60 FPS is just so good and it's just so beautiful. Scratch team, if you're watching this right now, you know what to do. But right now we had done practically zero work, so I knew that I had to start making some actual progress quickly. I started cooking up some penguin art. I tried to make it look like he was lying on his belly, and I think I did a pretty good job despite not making it in pixel art like I do for most of my projects. But this was just art, and right now we had no code, and code is the backbone for every project. So I started making some movement and gave it a slippery effect just like in real life. I think that I implemented this quite well and that it didn't look too bad. The problem with this though was that the player still kinda looked lifeless and rigid and didn't really look like a real penguin. I fixed this by adding in some slight rotation whenever the penguin turned in a certain direction, and I think it makes things feel way better now. However, at this point, the day was coming to a close, so I decided to go to sleep for now. What you saw was just the first of 5 days, and some crazy things ended up happening later in the challenge. But just like the penguin's code that we implemented today, learning to code can at times feel slippery. And if you want to take control of your programming journey, then I want to tell you about a platform that can help. It's called BootDev, and they happen to be the sponsor of this video. BootDev teaches you backend coding through its interactive lessons in Python, SQL, and Go. The thing that I love about it the most is how it just feels so hands-on, and it teaches you coding by making you build real projects. All their courses include a built-in interactive interface, so you can code right inside their website and hop into real programming scenarios. This really helps you to think like a programmer and develop problem-solving skills. BootDev does have a paid membership, but all their content is free to read and watch. The membership allows you to access interactive features though, so it does accelerate your learning and give you a better grasp on the concepts that are being taught. If you're ready to get serious about coding, then use the link in my description or scan the QR code on screen right now to try out BootDev and level up your coding. And I'd also just like to say a huge thanks to the people over at BootDev who are making this video that you're watching right now possible. Okay, now back to the video, back to day 3. Yeah, day 3. To start off coding for this day, I made a scrolling background and used a snow texture so that it looked like, well, snow. There was a problem with this though. Now that we added the background, the penguin didn't look like he fit,
because he didn't leave a trail of snow. So I added one in and made it look very subtle. I think it came out quite well. But right now, what we have isn't really a game because there are no obstacles or challenges. So to fix this, I decided it was time to add in the obstacles that I was talking about earlier. I started by drawing a rock, and I think it looked quite nice. I also drew a tree, and although it's definitely not a masterpiece, it's passable. The next thing I did was add in some code to make these objects spawn randomly and get in the way of the player. However, we now ran into the same problem that we had with the player. These obstacles looked really unnatural and didn't really fit in with the environment. But since these obstacles weren't moving like the player, adding a snow trail just wouldn't make sense. So instead, I decided it would work if I just added in some shadows instead. This worked surprisingly well, and I was happy with the end result. Although we were making great progress, while playtesting the game, I noticed that the player could sometimes go on top of trees and rocks, when in reality, he has to go under them. So I used a tutorial from Griffpatch that teaches you how to layer sprites. This fixed our problems, and this was just great. I also made it so that if you are behind a tree, then it doesn't kill you, because you aren't really in contact with the tree. But every game needs some type of goal or reward, and ours didn't have one. So I knew that it was time to start making fish that the penguin could eat and get rewarded for. I think I cooked on the art. The code for the fish was pretty similar to that of the obstacles, except instead of harming the player, they helped him. However, I wanted to make these fish look a bit cooler, so I started thinking of ways to make them look more enticing for the player. I eventually found these stretch blocks. They aren't in Scratch, and just like their name suggests, they make your sprite stretch. So I used them to make a cool animation, and it made the fish look cute and cartoony. I made another cool animation for when you collect and eat the fish. The next thing that I did was make it so that if you were behind a tree, you could still see yourself, and I did this by lowering the tree's opacity. But I realized that the score variable we had on the screen was pretty ugly, so I knew I would have to replace it. I created a custom score, and again used the beautiful stretch effect to make the numbers look cute. I'm so sad that Scratch doesn't have this stretch effect because it's so useful and is so good. Now, our game was coming together, so I knew that I just needed to add in a start screen, a death screen, and some sound design. I started with the start screen. I just kept the game's main code running, but disabled the functionality for the player to move, and for obstacles and fish to spawn. Once the player starts the game though, the functionality is restored. After that, it was time for the death screen. I decided to just make a simple screen that told you that you died and that we didn't need anything fancy. But to make sure that this worked, we needed to stop the game's code from working, and I actually found a really good solution. In PenguinMod, there are these blocks that let you stop the scripts of other sprites. This isn't available in Scratch, which is a shame, because oh my goodness, these are so nice and so useful. Scratch, please take note. Now, it was time to add in some sound design, so I added some music, snow ambience, and sound effects. This really brought another level of depth to our game, and made it turn into a finished product. So now that we were done, I added a thumbnail and shared it. I wasn't sure how this would perform, but I was hoping that we would at least get some good results. After posting this game, I started wondering what other games we would make, and if we would actually be able to get 100 followers.
Alright, so it is the end of day 2 right now, and we actually did some really good progress on the game. We finished the entire game, and we managed to share it, so I'm actually really excited to see if we get any reaction to the game tomorrow morning. I've actually realized that PenguinMod is a pretty tiny community, so that is actually kind of a bad thing. If we're trying to get 100 followers, we need like a huge percentage of the platform to just start following us. But tomorrow we're gonna start on another game, a new game. I actually have no idea what I'm gonna create, so we'll come up with that tomorrow. But on another note, actually right now I just got this like package in the mail, so I kind of just wanted to open it with you guys. I don't know why, but let's just open it. Open this? What is this? For every subscriber Viiperrr gets on this video, he has to donate 2 cents to PenguinMod? Signed by Diaper? What? That's right, for every subscriber that we're getting on this video, we're gonna be donating 2 cents to PenguinMod. We actually did something similar to this before, and we were actually able to raise $300 that time, thanks to you guys. So let's see if we can beat that and get $301. And also, if you're just enjoying the video, or you wanna support me, then subscribing is just a great way to help me out. It makes my day. Yeah. Thank you. Just yeah, good night. Yeah, good night. I'm sleeping now. Okay, I just came up with a 3-step plan that will hopefully get us 100 followers on PenguinMod in the next 2 days. Okay, so for number 1, we are going to have to be active in the community. So there's actually no comment section in the PenguinMod website, which is a little bit of a problem, but we can still be active in the community by liking people's games and following them and doing stuff like that. The second step of our plan is to remake games. So on day 1, when we were seeing what was popular on this website, I remember we saw 2 Sonic games and 1 Super Mario 64 remake. So I think it's safe to say that people on PenguinMod like remakes, so we might as well just give them a shot. The last step, step 3, is our last resort. I really don't want to do this, but if it comes down to it, we might have to make a YouTube channel to try to promote our account. Also, sorry that I couldn't really work on this challenge that much today. I've actually been pretty busy in the past few days. I'm actually gonna lock in the last 2 days, I promise you. It is going to be insane. Yeah.
And yeah, I was pretty much busy for the rest of the day, so I couldn't do anything related to the challenge. Missing a day is really not ideal in such a short challenge like this. We really need to lock in on the last 2 days of this challenge if we want to successfully infiltrate PenguinMod. On day 3, I talked about how we were going to remake a game. You may wonder what that game is going to be. Super Wario Bros. Yeah. Anyways, we now needed to actually start getting to work on our project. I decided that I was once again going to use vector art instead of pixel art in this game, and I also decided that I would start drawing the Wario character first, because he was going to be the focus of our game. So I drew him up, and I think I did a pretty good job. I didn't do a lot of detailing, but he looks simple and pretty accurate to what he's supposed to look like. The next thing I did was animate a walk cycle for him. I don't typically do animations for vector characters, so this was a bit difficult for me. However, the end result wasn't all too bad. After that, I drew up some ground art and background art pretty easily. These were basically just gradients, so they weren't super hard to make or anything. Now it was time to start adding in some physics and controls for Wario. But while I was coding this, I ran into a problem. Because of this repeat until loop, my project crashed. And this happens sometimes in Scratch, but it's easily fixable because it doesn't completely crash your game and it just instead severely lags it up. But this isn't Scratch. My entire project just completely crashed, but I still thought it'd be okay since my progress would autosave. Turns out, PenguinMod doesn't have autosave, so I just lost all my progress. But I knew that I shouldn't waste any more time, so I just restarted and drew up Wario and his animation. I also added in the ground in the physics again, and things were looking good. But then, what do you know? The repeat until loop crashed my entire project once again. I was literally on the verge of tears, bro. Like, you can't even make this stuff up. However, once again, I started drawing Wario, and because of the sheer amount of times that I've done this so far, I actually managed to draw him pretty quickly. I also added in the ground and background, and they look the same as before. Now it was time to add in the physics and actually code again. This time I was extremely careful and constantly backed up my project, so I didn't ever have to worry about losing all my progress again. But while playtesting the game, I realized that we didn't have slope detection. What this means is that our game basically treated slopes, such as this one, as walls, and you couldn't comfortably and smoothly walk up them. So I fixed that, and it makes our game feel more professional and not like a low quality game that I had to remake 3 times because of a stupid repeat until loop. Now it was time to add in some dangers. I started with the void. This is pretty simple. You just die if you fall. I also added some Goombas. I had to draw them and animate them, and I think they looked pretty accurate. Maybe more accurate than Wario himself. I also coded it so that if you jumped on a Goomba, it would die, but if you rammed into it, you would die. The final danger I created was this spike. Touching it means death, so just try your best to avoid it. Now I felt that we had added in enough features for this game, so I got to level design. I've said this several times on my channel before, but I absolutely hate level design. It's so repetitive and boring, and it's probably the worst part about making games. But I managed to create 9 levels, and now our game was finished, so I quickly added in some music, made a thumbnail, and shared it. Admittedly, I didn't add as many things that I wanted to for this game, but that's because it was getting late. Maybe we would have had more time if PenguinMod didn't make me restart my project on 3 occasions. On another note, I knew tomorrow would be lock-in day where we need to reach our 100 follower goal.
Hello everyone, welcome to day 5. So it's the last day of this challenge, and yesterday we finished up our Wario game. So that was actually one part of our plan, but the other part of our plan was being active in the community. So we're gonna do that today, using our remaining time, and I think that'll be okay. But yesterday, creating that Wario game was like super frustrating,
I can't even lie. But yeah, I think this method will work pretty well. Just liking people's projects and following them. I think that will actually give us some attention. Some people might start to notice us, and once a few people start to notice us, we could gain a lot of traction, and more traction, and that's very good. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yo, what's up? We're gonna be being active in the community, like I said. Not sure how well this is gonna work, but we have to try it. So let's just try out some projects. Let's see this Minesweeper game. Okay, let's do a large Minesweeper. Let's see how long this takes. I bet it won't take too long. This game is cool. It's actually addicting. Like, some of these PenguinMod games are actually really good. Let's just follow this guy. Okay, this game looks interesting. Triss. I think this looks like it's like some sort of like Tetris clone, but I'm not quite sure what it is, but it looks like it'd be kind of cool, so. Okay. Oh, so there's some other things. I don't know how I would place this. This is kind of annoying. Wait, is there a way to hold? Hold. Ooh, that makes this interesting, actually. Oh, let's like this game. Let's follow this guy as well.
After doing this for quite some time, I was stumped. I didn't really know what else I needed to do on this crucial last day of the challenge. Until I remembered something. Back on day 1, I saw a game that was just a copy of a game on Scratch, and it was quite popular. I have dozens of games on Scratch, so I knew what I had to do. I shared a game that I had previously made in 24 hours. This is actually a super cool game with a unique idea, and I'm really proud of it. The vision with this was that it could possibly impress a lot of people, just like the Sonic engine did. But as the day started coming to a close, so did this challenge. Only time could tell if we would get 100 followers, or if all our efforts were a failure. But before I show you the results of this video, I want to show you the games that we made over the course of the last 5 days. Okay, so the challenge has now ended. It's the end of day 5. We did learn a few good things from this challenge. We got to try out PenguinMod, and it's actually really cool. There's some good things about it. Like, I really love the blocks they added. The 60 FPS mode, like, some of the settings are really nice. The features are just better than Scratch. And they even have extensions, and I didn't even try them out. And it just maintains the simplicity of Scratch, but at the same time, it just lets you level up a bit. And I think that's really nice. And there also are some bad things about it, like the community. It's actually pretty tiny, and there's no way to promote your games and be seen in the community. And also, as we saw with the Wario game, like, there's no autosave function, so my game just, like, I was so annoyed that, oh my goodness, I don't even want to talk about it. But yeah, and you may be wondering if we succeeded or not. We didn't, yeah. I mean, I don't think it's that big of a surprise. We ended off with 0 followers, 0 likes, nothing. Like, I really tried on this challenge. I really did. But for some reason, this challenge is like 0 results whatsoever. I've never had a challenge flop this badly. Yeah. You You might have realized that I never even showed you the full third game, or how I made it. Well, it's actually a crazy story, and you can see how in the video on screen right now. Enjoy, and also thank you for watching the video.